Hey everybody, it's Johnny, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back to my channel. And today, we're gonna talk some empties. Alright, so I have been warming some things, and I have some thoughts on said things. Most of the stuff this time around is going to be Scentsy stuff. I have had, whatever tense, a bunch of unfinished wax bars, and I kind of like to finish up bars before I start opening a bunch more, and my melting basket was getting ridiculously full of half bars. So I decided that I was going to take it upon myself this week and get through some of those to make room for some more adventures in wax. But that being said, I do have one notable thing that is not wax, which is a little trial size Bath & Body Works shower gel in Bora Bora Citrus Surf. And this probably won't make it into my Bath & Body Works video that I'm going to be doing shortly, just because I've already used it. But this is a really nice scent. It doesn't have the scent notes on here, does it? No, it doesn't. But that being said, for any of those who are familiar with Scentsy's Blue Grotto, this, in my opinion, is like an exact dupe of that. Or that is an exact dupe of this, because I don't know. Well, I think this is a new fragrance for this year in Bath & Body Works. I don't know. I don't know much about Bath & Body Works other than that they make really good, smelly good products. Anyways. Long story short, someone tell Sean Roberry about this scent because Blue Grotto is being discontinued as a fall and winter in the body care line for Scentsy, and I guess, I don't know about this one, but maybe this one is too. So it could be bad news bears all around, but it's a dupe, in my opinion. For those who don't know what Blue Grotto smells like, it's very like citrusy, fruity, fresh kind of vibe. Not my particular cup of tea, but I know a lot of people who enjoy it. Alright, on to my stuff that I've been warming. So, first things first, I got through a bar of Starfruit and Pear Nectar. I don't know if this is still in the clearance section. It may be. I was not wild about it when I smelled it on cold. But on warm, the Pear Nectar note on this really projects well. At least it did for me. I put it in my living room. I think I put half a bar, so I did 3 cubes in the living room and then 1 in our like hall bath area, and it performed really well. It wasn't super heavy, like it's not a strong crazy powerhouse fragrance, but you definitely smell it. It was very fresh and clean, and I do like the smell of pears. I just find that I have trouble finding an authentic sort of pear scent. And while I wouldn't say that this is necessarily that dead on just fresh, juicy pears, it definitely, with the pear nectar note, is more pear than some of the other purported pear-based scents like that we've had in the last several months. So I like this one. I may pick up a few more bars before it disappears out of clearance if it's still there. Is it something that I would be like, club worthy? Oh my gosh, no. But would I get this again and warm it and enjoy it for a little bit more? Definitely. Alright, still on the Starfruit notes, I guess. This is Lucky Starfruit from the International Wax Collection from Scentsy. And this is a beautiful scent. I really love this scent. I wanted this to perform so much better. It just was a dud for me. I started with 2 cubes in my bedroom, which is a like 12 by 14 square foot, roughly, I want to say, space. 2 cubes didn't do much for me. So I put in a 3rd cube. Got like a little whiff of something, still nothing. Put in a 4th cube. So we're already at half a bar, right? And I'm just barely getting like a faint fragrance from it. Now, that isn't to say that I might not have been nose blind that day, but I also was warming another fragrance in the living room that was very strong. And I for sure smelled that one just fine. And I smelled like the food that I brought into my room to snack on. but this one was like, where are you? So finally I was really upset because I really like this fragrance. It's so nice. It's such a creamy, soft scent. Emphasis on the soft side. I put the rest of the bar in. I literally had 8 cubes. 8 cubes. The entire bar of this in my 12 by 14 roughly bedroom. And then I got it at a mild to maybe medium throw. And it was beautiful. But it futzed out after like an hour or two. I kid you not. I was so upset because of all the ones, barring maybe Pacific Sandalwood, this is probably my other like close tie for my favorite. Oh man, but the performance on this was just so wah wah wah, and I'm just debating if I want to like keep it in my Scentsy club for one more go around and see if like maybe it was just me or maybe it was just the stars didn't align properly that day and it didn't smell like anything. Because it's so good, but it's just so impeccably disappointing. So that was that adventure. Lasted all of a day, if you want to call it that. My adventure lasted longer than the scent throw did. But it's really pretty. It is a really pretty scent. All right, I got through Phineas and Ferb, Best Day Ever. This is a fresh, fruity fragrance. More on the fresh note, in my opinion. It gives me... This is like, to me, it gives me like a fruity Light Side of the Force vibe. So if you like Light Side of the Force but felt it was more like clean and maybe like laundry with a hint of wood scent, fresh, this is like the clean, whatever, base kind of that, but more on the fruity undertones. This is really nice. This is staying in my club. And it performs really, really decently. It's not a super powerhouse scent, but you definitely smell it without having to, like, hunt for the scent. I will say that it doesn't maybe last as long as some of the other scents. Disney scents tend to be lighter in general, although you can tell that to Light Side of the Forest and Not Your Everyday Dragon, and we'll have a chat. But this one is really good. It's staying in my club. I highly recommend you trying it if it's still available to pick up. Next up, we have Salted Lavender from the International Wax Collection. And this, I don't know how I feel about this. It's nice. Is it something that I would warm again? Maybe not. So I don't think this should be called Salted Lavender. I think this should be called Lavender Salt. As in, the salt is essenced with lavender rather than the lavender has been sprinkled with minerals and sea salt. Because when I warmed this, you get like the sea minerals, sea salt, breeze, whatever note that's supposed to be. That's like the predominant note to me. Like lavender is like on the back end, at least in my experience with it. And I tried it a couple different days to see, like, in different rooms of the apartment to see if it made a difference. But it's like sea salt. But then it has that, like, lavender back kick. And it's... I don't know how I feel about it. Like, if I want a sea salty, clean scent, I would go for something that is a little bit more just sea salt vibes, fresh, no extra other things. And this wasn't quite it. So is this going to stay in my club? Again, maybe for another round just to try it again or get a couple more bars of it, but probably not going to be a long time laster there. I got through a bar of Apple Crush. This is like fresh green apples. It gets a little bit candied at a certain point and it's warming, but for the most part it stays fairly like fresh green apple. But it didn't last by the evening. I mean, a lot of fruity scents struggle to last throughout the day and then onwards because a lot of them, if you're warming them constantly, the fragrance notes for fruit scents tend to be like top note based, so they don't last as long just in general. This one kind of suffered from that sort of, it was fun and fresh and medium strong scent, but nothing compared to like a Johnny Appleseed. So if I'm going to go and pick an apple scent to keep in my club, this isn't it. And this was in the clearance anyway, so you couldn't add to your club if you wanted to. So tough tittles. All right, I got through a bar of Ivy and Water Lily. This is not the scent of the month for August. That also has an ivy note. This smells like a fancy soap. It's fresh soap to me. It's it doesn't do a whole lot for me. It's nice, it's forgettable for me, and with a whole bunch of other scents and then some being made, this just doesn't stand out to me. But it's nice. I don't have any negatives about it. It just smells like a nice, clean, fresh soap was used, like at a fancy hotel. And it performs pretty well. It does last. And I think this is still in clearance. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. But I would pick up maybe another bar of it. But that would be enough for me. I got through this one. This is the scent of the month for August. This is Aloe Vera and Ivy, not to be confused with the other one. Oh my goodness, this is delicious. This is, I kid you not, I mean, I haven't tried them next to side by side, but this is basically Inhale Exhale minus the kiwi note and whatever the other weird top note is in that one, which I really love too. That's like a ride or die scent for me. This is like that, but it's also a lot lighter and more green. So Inhale Exhale was a powerhouse fragrance for anyone who smelled it or used it or tried it. It lasted forever and it was strong forever. This one is more of like a medium strength. It's not quite as pungently in your face. So if that one was good, you liked it, but it was too strong for you, try this one. It's a lot more green. There is like the melon, watermelon, whatever note you want to call it. It's not to me particularly like a fresh melon like in Picked for You or something like that, but it's like a watery, aquatic vibe in there, and it's really nice. So I'm keeping all of my bars of this. You can't have any of them, but I recommend you try picking up one of those if that sounds interesting to you. It does get my seal of approval. I warmed bar of this now discontinued fragrance, Apricot Vanilla. This is apricots, peaches, and vanilla ice cream, I think. I don't really like peach scented stuff that much. For me, for whatever reason, it just becomes a little bit too nauseating. But whatever the combo they did here, oh, this is so good. This is really good. I'm glad I put one of these in my club because it is delicious, and I hope if it's anything as delicious as this in the body care line, oh man, I might have to pick up some of that to try. And it's a pretty strong performer. It's not super strong, but it definitely is there, and it definitely lasts. I know some people have mentioned it's a softer scent. Not for me. It's also, I think, because I switch out my scent categories fairly regularly with what I'm warming so that I don't become nose blind to a particular scent category, that definitely helps. So if you find that you warm a lot of bakery, gourmand, fruity fragrances, this may seem softer than some of the other ones to you, or you might be a little bit scent blind to it. Easy way to do that, switch out your warmers with something that's not that. You know, like go on complete opposite side of the scent categories to kind of cleanse your nose palette for a day or two. But anyways, that was a long rant. I like it. It's in my club. I got through a bar of Pretty and Plum, and I like this. It's an interesting scent. I can see where some people say that like when it warms, there's like a weird sort of maple vibe. It's not really a maple vibe, but because of how the plum and the black coconut along with the softer pastry note meld, I can see where you get a little bit of that like mapley, or you could consider it like a mapley sort of vibe, but it's not really a mapley vibe. It lasts really well. It's not super strong, which I appreciate. You do get mostly plum. You pick up some of the coconut. It's more of a background note in my experience with warming this bar. And the pastry vibe, it's a general soft bakery tone to it, but I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to be like, oh, I can definitely smell the bakery in that. And I actually warmed a couple cubes of this on one of the other days because I warmed it on a couple different days. The second time I warmed it with churro churro, and that gave it more of like a doughy, like that greasy, slightly note vibe that you'd expect from like, I don't know, a pastry. I don't know, an ooey gooey pastry, and it worked out really well. That's another way you could use this and pair it up if you want. I'm trying to get into some mixing more. And I also, finally, it's in here too, I actually got through my least favorite scent in the International Collection, which we'll talk about next, Strawberry Walk and Rock Melon, I actually have it right now because I was finishing it today. Blended these two. I think 1-to-1 or 2-to-1, I don't remember. But this toned this down enough to the point where I was like, oh, I can actually enjoy or at least tolerate strawberry and rock melon. So if you're struggling getting through your bar of this, try it with Pretty and Plum. See what you think. Worked for me. All right, strawberry and rock melon. It's strong. It's, oh. Okay, it's not really that terrible smelling. But it's very like wham in your face. It's pungent. There's a jammy note to it. I think the strawberry jammy note, not like pajamas, like jam, as in like the condiment you spread on bread. That definitely gives it that weird pungent off note in the background that just doesn't work for me. But when you paired this like with a richer plummy note or something, that's not plum. This is plum. I can pick up the right empty. It mellowed it out enough that I could enjoy it. I trying mixing with this with Rise and Sunshine, which is the July scent of the month, and the orange and the cherry sweetened this and helped a bit, but it didn't really cut through the biting note that was driving me nuts with this, whereas the Pretty and Plum combination kind of calmed it down. Bah! It's running away from me. A lot of people like this. It's not my vibe, but it is strong, so if you want a strong scent, this is one of the top strongest ones in the International Collection. We chatted about that for a while. We have Maui Coconut, which is a beautiful fresh scent with pineapple and like, I think it's Hawaiian lei and violets, I want to say, but no coconut. But it's called Maui Coconut because that makes sense. Well, the first time I warmed this, I thought this was really light and forgettable. Then I bought a bar of it and I actually really enjoy it. And I'm glad I have a bar of this in my club because after trying it in like the full bar as opposed to like with the testers, I really found this nice. It's a light, fresh fragrance. It's not overwhelmingly pineapple. It's like well balanced. And sometimes you just need a light, fresh sort of vibe in your life. So, Maui Coconut. And then everyone's, favorite Pacific Sandalwood from International Collection. This is delicious. It is a softer fragrance. It's not soft, but I would say like soft to medium. Keep this for a smaller room unless you want to pour a bunch of cubes in there. It's really nice. It's going to stay in my club. And a pro tip, if you really want to make this indulgent and just delicious, mix this one with satin sheets, which is like vanilla and sandalwood. It's like creamy vanilla and sandalwood. If you mix this 1-to-1 with satin sheets, or even 2-to-1 if you really want this to be a little bit more predominant, oh my goodness, they just marry and make a creamy, woodsy, delightful everything that you could ever imagine. At least they did for me. So try that. If you like this a lot, or the vibe of this, and you like satin sheets, or might kind of like the notes of it, mix them together. It makes something fancy. All right, then I got through a tester of satin sheets because I used part of this with a little bit of my bar to try out that combo, and it worked really well. And then I got through a sad little tester of Atlantic Air. I do like the scent. It's strong, but then it futzes out. I kept a bar of this in my club as well as fuzzy blanket to make a semi-dupe of Lotus Cove, which we're getting close to bring back my bar. Vote for Lotus Cove for me and Shaka, and we'll have a video on things that I would like to try or have come back so I can put them in my club. And I'm sure everyone should vote for Sweet Plum Pastry because why not? But anyways, it's a good scent. It's nice. It's on its own. It doesn't do a whole lot for me. It just smells fresh. And then I had a candle that I hacked up a while back and or melted into cubes. It was from Candle Bay. It's their Amber and Moss candle. Got through this. It's a beautiful scent. It's just super light. And it was super light in candle form, super light in wax melting form. So it was pretty, but forgettable. And then Fuddy Dud of the week was, I saw this at CVS. This is American Home by Yankee Candle. And I actually picked up a couple different scents from them because I was like, oh, that's interesting. CVS has wax melts that are from Yankee Candle. I don't know what this is supposed to smell like. It claims that it's supposed to be a peaceful beach. It smells like dirty sand to me. And it's not particularly like fragrant and strong. Like all the four other ones I think I picked up were all like, wow, like pretty strong smelling at first glance. This was like, where's the fragrance? Like I feel like just smelling this, I smell more of the clamshell plastic than I actually smell the fragrance itself. And what I do smell just smells like dirty sand to me. Like the sand that you went to the beach and then like rinsed out of your bathing suit after sweating at the volleyball tournament for too long. Because everyone's at a volleyball tournament on the beach when they go. Yeah, and it just smells like that. Or maybe like the sand at the bottom of your feet at the end of your day at the beach. It doesn't do anything. Don't get this. It doesn't perform at all. And it smells kind of like... So, on a side note, I got through 2 of the samples from Destination Wax. Sweet and Creamy Lolly and Patchouli Fresh Linen. Sweet and Creamy Lolly is not in my, like, wheelhouse. It's like a candy, sweet candy, berry candy sort of thing, and then, like, cinnamon. And it performed medium for me, but it was definitely, you could smell it. Like, you didn't have to, like, hunt for the fragrance, so that was impressive. But it's fruity, creamy, sweet lollipops with an elusive hint of cinnamon. It was a nice fragrance. It was not for me. We all have our scent fragrances, so that's not to say that it was a bad wax or it was terrible. It was not my cup of tea, so. But it kind of reminded me like a strawberries and cream hard candy with cinnamon. If it was just the hard candy without the cinnamon, I think I would have been okay. And then this other one is Patchouli Fresh Linen. Very fresh blend of aged patchouli and fresh washed linens. This is an interesting scent. It's very musty. And like you get the linen note, but then you also get that aged patchouli. And it's almost like it's irony, like a bitter irony, because you have aged patchouli and fresh washed linens. So it's like, is this fresh laundry that you just like vomited over? I mean, patchouli doesn't smell like vomit, but it has a very particularly like strong musky scent to it, note to it. And I don't generally mind patchouli, but this combination was, while it was very interesting and very strong, again, not something I would want my house didn't feel fresh or clean. It almost felt like it made my house musty and like dirty feeling. But in terms of performance, oh man, this like little sample, which was like a cube and a half worth of Scentsy wax, oh man, it performed wonders. Like, kudos on the scent performance, just was not a scent that worked for me. And we've made it to the bottom of my bin. Thank goodness. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope some of my prattling made sense and was helpful to you. As always, if you enjoy this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to see more ridiculous stuff from me. I will be doing a Bath & Body Works haul video at some point. We'll sniff through the scents. We'll try not to make it super extra long because I don't know a whole lot on body care, and this is mostly a wax melts channel at the moment, but we're branching out, right? We're doing all sorts of crazy things. Anyways, hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.